In the year 1592, before the Japanese invasions, before the smoke covered the southern coast, there lived a class of men in Korea.
They trained in courtyards lined with frost. They wrapped their hands in cloth and struck wooden posts until their knuckles bled in patterns they would recognize years later as their own. The Joseon warriors were not like the samurai. They did not write poetry about death. They did not name their swords. They simply prepared. In the mountains north of Hanyang, there was a training garrison where young men were sent to become something else. They learned to move through fog without sound, to hold a blade for hours without trembling, to stand in formation while rain turned the ground to mud beneath them.
And among them was a man named Han Jiwoo, 24 years old. Strong, disciplined, respected by his instructors. He had been training for 6 years. Every morning, the same drills. Every evening, the same forms. He knew the weight of every weapon in the armory. He knew which officers favored speed and which favored patience. He was, by every measure, ready. But this story isn't really about war. Jiwoo had a habit. Every time a battalion was called to the border, he would stand in formation. He would listen to the names, and when his name was not called, he would feel something he never spoke aloud: relief. He told himself it was wisdom, that rushing into conflict was the mistake of younger men, that true warriors waited for the right moment, that preparation was never wasted. And so he stayed. He trained. He refined his form. He studied maps of terrain he had never walked. He sharpened blades he had never swung in anything but practice. Around him, others advanced, men who trained less, men who hesitated more during drills, men who, by all logic, should have stayed behind. But they went, and Jiwoo remained. He watched them return months later, thinner, quieter, carrying something in their eyes he could not name. They no longer asked questions during training. They no longer compared themselves to others. They simply moved. And Jiwoo kept preparing. One winter morning, an older officer approached Jiwoo during drills. His name was Commander Yi. He had fought in 3 campaigns. He walked with a limp. He did not waste words. He stood beside Jiwoo and watched him complete a form perfectly. Then he said, "You move like someone who has never been hit." Jiwoo did not respond. Yi continued, "Do you know what separates a man who has fought from a man who has trained?" Jiwoo shook his head. "The man who has fought knows that preparation ends the moment the first step is taken. Everything after that is just movement." Yi looked at him for a long moment. "You are waiting for readiness, but readiness does not arrive. You bring it with you, or you don't bring it at all." Then he walked away. That night, Jiwoo sat alone in the cold. He thought about the blade he carried. It had been sharpened 1,000 times, polished, balanced, cared for, but it had never tasted air in a way that mattered. And he realized something that made his chest tighten. Strength is not built in battle. It is built in the decision to enter it. Rank is not earned in victory. It is earned in the willingness to lose. And destiny does not wait for you to be ready. It simply moves. And you either move with it, or you watch it pass. The blade does not become sharp in the sheath.
3 weeks later, another battalion was called. Jiwoo stood in formation. He heard the names. He felt the familiar pull, comfort on one side, cost on the other. And this time, he did not know what he would do, because the question was not whether he was ready. The question was whether he was willing to find out what he had become in all those years of preparing to become something. There is a kind of man who spends his whole life sharpening a blade, who studies, who disciplines himself, who convinces himself that when the moment comes, he will be undeniable.
But the moment does not announce itself. It does not wait for permission. It simply asks, "Will you move?" Jiwoo stood there. The names continued. The formation shifted. And somewhere inside him, beneath all the discipline, beneath all the training, beneath the 6 years of preparation, he felt the edge of a question he had been avoiding. Not whether he could, but whether he would. The blade was sharp. It had always been sharp. So tell me, what are you still holding in the sheath?